was a common sight. Some of the roads of the Roman Empire were lined with crosses. It was a brutal world. From the outside looking in, the events of Good Friday are simply the crucifixion of one more common criminal surrounded by his family and his friends. His friends taking his body down from the cross by the end of the day and burying it in a tomb. But there are two things that take this Good Friday story out of the commonplace and turn it into something special, something that becomes good news for the world. And the first is the identity of the person being crucified, and the second is what happens to him within the next 3 days. It's Friday morning, and there's a little group of people making their way through the city of Jerusalem, heading out of the city to a place called Golgotha. At the centre of that little group is a man carrying the spar of his cross on his way to be crucified, surrounded by soldiers. At 9 in the morning, Jesus is crucified. And by midday, the sky has turned black. By 3 in the afternoon, Jesus has died. And later in the evening, his friends take his body down from the cross and place it in the tomb, knowing that they will have to come back later to complete the sad task of burying their friend. When the women arrive at the tomb on Sunday morning to do just that, they discover that the tomb is empty, and they begin to meet Jesus alive, risen from the dead. There's one more part of that story that begins to bridge the gap between this as an event and what the event means. In the temple in Jerusalem, there was a curtain that was designed to keep people out from the presence of God, and only one person, the high priest, was allowed through that curtain, and then only once a year. At the moment when Jesus died, that curtain was torn in two from top to bottom, symbolizing that the way is now open for us to come to God. Christ died for sins once for all, the righteous for the unrighteous, to bring you to God. There are all kinds of Bible verses that help us understand why the cross is central to our Christian faith, and these words of Peter are just one of them that lead to the creed to say that Jesus Christ, crucified, dead and buried, is something that is part and parcel of our Christian faith. Jesus, the innocent man, dies. Jesus, the Son of God, is crucified. And this makes the cross the place of salvation, the place where God saves us. And it may be a strange way to save the world, but this is what God has done. We have made mistakes. We have fallen short. We have gone astray. We have rebelled. And Jesus has taken all of that on himself so that we might come to God, so that we are forgiven. He died that we might be forgiven, says the hymn. So the way is open, the gulf is bridged, the relationship is mended. The cross has become central to our Christian faith. God doing the right thing at the right time to save us. This is God showing to us the full extent of his love for us. And so the cross has become central to the good news that we have to proclaim to the world. The commonplace has become special. The cross has become a place of salvation for a lost and weary world.